What's up everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a little breakdown of the demo I did for Red Room Audio's Gypsy Fiddle. So if you're familiar with the other demo I did for their library, Bluegrass Fiddle, I kind of went in the same vein. I did kind of a big band type of jazzy approach to a piece to the demo, so that was a lot of fun, and I wanted to do kind of a similar thing with this demo as well, because I thought that the fiddle was very suitable for this type of purpose. And so what I'll do is I'll play it for you once so you can get a sense of what this sounds like, and then we'll kind of dive in and talk about the structure, the harmonic choices, the instruments themselves, and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, here is what Don't Tempt Me sounds like. I don't know, I kind of like that name, but because it kind of, to me, symbolizes what the piece sounds like. But anyway, here we go. Alright, so that is what Don't Tempt Me sounds like. Basically, I was going for a more kind of classical traditional sound here at the beginning, with the piano and the fiddle playing their solo parts. So you kind of get this nice relaxed and almost cinematic sound with the amount of reverb that's in there. I tried to get it as almost sounding like a concert hall, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I was going for there. And then as soon as we got into the up-tempo section, that's when I dialed the reverb back, because I wanted to give the impression that we're having a more intimate type of interaction with the music. So, because it's kind of more up-tempo, it's kind of dancing, it's kind of light and just plain fun. We usually don't hear everything as clearly in a big space like a concert hall or a scoring stage. So for me, it made sense to kind of dial the microphones back a little bit, so it's a little more close and upfront, and everything's just a little more clear. So if I just pull open the contact instance here, we can just take a look at the instruments that we have. So here is what the fiddle looks like and its interface, and so it has a bunch of the regular string sustains. It also has the Gypsy Fiddle specific articulations, which are also really cool. And then for all of the jazzy stuff, I pretty much used the swing and swing more instruments from Project Sam. So all of the drums, the double bass, the guitar strums, these are all from Project Sam, and that's basically all I used for the rhythm section and the brass and everything. And then for the strings, I wanted a little bit of a background, so I introduced Cinematic Studio Strings, their light ensemble, to have a little bit of a pad while this stuff was going on. So I actually introduced it quite early. Sorry about that. I actually introduced it quite early, as you can see here, if you have a listen here. Right? So you can hear there, it's already introducing. And then here, So it's just lending a nice kind of background support to everything. If I actually take it out of the ensemble, or out of the mix, you gotta hear how that atmosphere kind of goes away. It's just not as exciting and not as full and rich. So that's kind of the thing I like to think about a lot of the times when I'm arranging something, is what instruments do I want to support the background and make everything fill in the spaces. So in this case, I chose the string ensemble from Cinematic Studio Strings. In addition to that, I brought in the female choir from Swing More to also layer in with the string ensemble as well. So those two kind of sound like this together. Here we go. And then now the voices actually don't go that high, so you can hear they're kind of in the middle register, above middle C, but yeah. And then in addition to that, I also have the big band chords as well from Swing More, so. So those are the sustained background textures. Aside from that, we also have some snaps to accentuate the rhythm a little bit with drums. And I also have some string runs here kind of at the end to give it some spice. So have a listen to this. Right. So this is basically Cinestrings runs from Cinesamples. So I just pulled that in and played a G harmonic minor scale at several moments leading into climaxes, leading into the new downbeats to give it some excitement there. And in terms of the overall structure, again, I wanted to have this nice, like, pulled back and just relaxed classical type of atmosphere in the first section. And then I wanted to instantly turn the tables and go like, but this is actually something different. And then it went jazzy and kind of up-tempo all of a sudden, you know? So after this, keeping in mind that this is a demo for the actual fiddle itself, I had a little bit of an instrumental where the piano did a little thing here, but I couldn't let it last too long. It's just to give the ear a bit of a break before the fiddle comes back in to finish the piece. So it's only like, what, 3 or 4 bars. So just have a listen to this. And little some taps and phrases, whatever. And then the fiddle just comes roaring back in, which is really fun. The final thing I kind of wanted to talk about here was just the bassoon and the clarinet. So these are both playing some counter melody functions. If I just play the fiddle and the bassoon soloed here, this is what this sounds like. So when the fiddle is doing its own thing, the bassoon stays out of the way. But when it holds, the bassoon comes in. This is just common, like, melody counter melody type of interaction here. So when the soprano sax comes in as well, I should have renamed that soprano sax, but anyway. So you hear the soprano sax and the bassoon are working together. Run here. It's just a lot of fun. And like that's a great thing about this fiddle is it handles the fast runs really, really well. It's very agile in that scenario. So the legato transitions are quite fast, so they can really keep up with whatever you throw at it, which is awesome. Very standard in jazz swing for the double bass to do a walking motion. So it kind of outlines the chord, but it also has some non-chord notes there to join it all together and keep it smooth. So it kind of sounds like this. Where are we? Here. And I didn't, you'll see that I didn't really quantize it that much. No, I'm lying. I did quantize it. But it sounds a little bit uneven nonetheless, which is awesome actually. It really humanizes it a little bit. Right? So I just thought that was, cause like without the double bass, then it just sounds like, it sounds like a piece without really any support, so. Right, You don't really get this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and motion going in the bass. So, but with it in, suddenly it just spices everything up and it makes the motion just feel a little more forward, and it lifts up the energy. So I think balance is really the key here. Like finding what instruments you want at the top end to give it that shine and sparkle, what instruments you want in the mid-range as support and filling in those frequencies there, and then what in the low end is what's going to deliver the body and the warmth to everything, right? So but this just proves what you can do with a minimum amount of tracks, especially with a piece like this. Like, it's not too complicated. You can get some nice textures in the background with just 3 or 4 tracks, and everything came out to about 18 tracks. And that's considering that I exported, I used multiple drum tracks for different details. So if I condensed everything down to like 1 or 2 drum tracks, that would have been like closer to 15 tracks. So you know, it's a cool challenge actually. Like a few of my students really enjoy trying to write tracks with, you know, even up like as little as 5 tracks, which is awesome. I did a video a couple months back talking about writing a sketch in 10 minutes. I think in that one I used maybe 3 to 5 tracks as well. So it just proves that, you know, with the technology we have today and the sample libraries that are on the market, you really don't need to be too complicated when you're writing your music and you're arranging your pieces, your mock-ups, because like the amount of ensemble patches that are available to us for sketching, the amount of patches that are just playable out of the box and give you a number of articulations without having to key switch and do all of that cumbersome stuff is amazing. So you should really get to know your libraries very well. And bring the best out of them. And if they are multi-articulation patches where you do have to key switch, that's totally fine, because that at least saves on system resources and you don't have to load like a ton of tracks with individual articulations. At least that's my personal workflow. For me, it's a lot easier to look at when I just have one track with multiple articulations rather than you know, laying out every single articulation for one instrument in the DAW. So anyway, I hope this gave you a little bit of an insight into this demo I wrote for Red Room Audio's Gypsy Fiddle. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support, and I hope you got something out of this video. In any case, I'll see you in the next video, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.